Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope you're all doing fantastic today, and we're gonna continue with the seventh part of Madame Bo-Peep of the Ranches. So let's do this. Teddy, said Octavia suddenly and rather sharply. What are you working down here on the ranch for? 100 per, said Teddy glibly, and found. I've good mind to discharge you. Can't do it, said Teddy with a grin. Why not? Demanded Octavia with argumentative head. Under contract, terms of sale respect and unexpired contracts. Mine runs until 12 p.m., December 31st. You might get up at midnight on that date and fire me. If you try it sooner, I'll be in a position of bringing legal proceedings. Octavia seemed to be considering the prospects of litigation, but continued Teddy cheerfully, I've been thinking of resigning anyway. Octavia's rocking chair ceased its motion. There were centipedes. There were centipedes in this country, she felt sure, and Indians, and vast, lonely, desolate, empty wastes, all within strong barbed wire fence. There was a one dresser pride, but there was also one dresser heart. She must know for certain whether or not he had forgotten. Oh, well, Teddy, she said with a fine assumption of polite interest. It's lonely down here. You're longing to get back to the old life. Up to polo and lobsters and theaters and balls. Never cared much for balls, said Teddy virtuously. You're getting old, Teddy. Your memory is failing. Nobody ever knew you miss a dance unless it occurred in the same night with another one which you attended. You showed such shocking bad taste too in dancing too often with the same partner. Let me see. What was that form's girl's name? The one with wall eyes, Mabel, wasn't there? No, Adele. Mabel was the one with the bony elbows. That wasn't wall in Adele's eyes. It was Saul. We used to talk sonnets together, and where laying just then I was trying to run a pipe from the Pierian spring. You were on the floor with her, said Octavia, undeflected. 5 times at a Hammersmith's. Hammersmith's what? Questioned Teddy. Wackously. Ball, said Octavio, viciously. What were we talking of? Eyes, I thought, said Teddy, after some reflections and elbows. Those Hammersmiths went on Octavia in her sweetest society. Prattle after subduing, an intense desire to yank a handful of sunburned, sandy hair from the head lying back contentedly against the canvas of the steamer chair. Had too much money. Mine's, wasn't it? It was something that paid something to the tone. You couldn't get a glass of plain water in their house. Everything at that ball was dreadfully overdone. It was, said Teddy. Such a crowd there was. Tavia continued, conscious that she was talking the rapid drivel of a schoolgirl describing her first dance. The balconies were as warm as the rooms. I lost something at that ball. The last sentence was uttered in a tone of calculated to remove the barbs from miles of wire. So did I, confessed Teddy in a lower voice. A glow, said Octavia, falling back as the enemy approached her ditches. Cased, said Teddy, halting his firing line without loss. I hobnobbled half the evening with one of Hammersmith's miners, and a fellow who kept his hands in his pockets and talked like an archangel, archangel, about reduction plans and drifts and levels and slice boxes. A pearl gray glow, nearly new, sighed Octavia mournfully. A bang up chop that Mac Ardile, maintained Teddy approvingly. A man who hated olives and elevators. A man who handled mountains as croquettes and built tunnels in the air. A man who never uttered a word of silly nonsense in his life. Did you sign those lease renewal applications yet, Madama? They've got to be on file in the land office by the 31st. Teddy turned his head lazily. Octavia's chair was vacant. A certain centipede, crawling along the lines marked out by fate, expounded the situation. It was early one morning while Octavia and Mrs. McIntyre were trimming the honeysuckle on the west gallery. Teddy had risen and departed hastily before daylight in response to word that a flock of Eves had been scattered from their bedding ground during the night by a thunderstorm. The centipede, driven by destiny, showed himself on the floor of the gallery, and then screeches of the two women giving him his cue, he scuttled with all his yellow legs through the open door into the furthermost west room, which was Teddy's. Arming themselves with domestic utensils selected with regard to their length, Octavia and Mrs. McIntyre, with much clutching of skirts and skirmishing for the position of rear guard in the attacking force followed. Once outside, the centerpiece seemed to have disappeared, and his prospective murderers began a throw thorough but cautious search for their victim. Even in the midst of such a dangerous and absorbing adventure, Octavia was conscious of an avid curiosity of finding herself in Teddy's sanctum. In that room, he sat alone, silently communing with those secret thoughts that he now shared with no one. Dreamed there, whether dreams he now called on no one to interpret. It was the room of a Spartan or a soldier. In one corner stood a wide, canvas-covered cot. In another, a small bookcase. In another, a green stand of Winchesters and shotguns. And a man's table, strewn with letters, papers, and documents, and surmounted by a set of pigeonholes, occupied one side. The centerpiece showed genius in concealing himself in such bare quarters. Mrs. McIntyre was poking a broom handle behind the bookcase. Octavia approached Teddy's cot. The room was just as the manager had left it in his hurry. The Mexican maid had not yet given it her attention. There was his big pillow with the imprint of his head still in the center. She had thought the horrid beast might have claimed the cot and hidden itself to bite Teddy. Centipedes were thus cruel and vindictive toward managers. Alright, guys, it's gonna be the final part tomorrow, so see you there. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.